And welcome back to the class, everyone. We are once again here for GAC. We're in the almost last round, second to last round here in this month. And we're up against a guy named Moral Hazard. I don't know him personally. I've never had an interaction with him, but I do know the name. I think it's a really big name in one of the original mod guilds. And he has a very, very large account. This is going to be one of those that we've come across one before, but it's just one of those players who has everything. And I don't mean just in the sense that he has like Rey and Starkill like everyone else. I mean he literally has everything. Like if we scroll down to the relic tables, you'll see that he has zeros across the board for tiers 0 through 6. So pretty much everything in the game he has it, and it's relic 7 or more. I mean, he has, if you want to do the total, he has 1,022 more relic levels than we do, it's a lot. It is a whole stinking lot. Mods are pretty good too. He has us beat in most categories. We haven't beat just barely in plus 25s. But I would say he has the advantage here, especially with 6 dot. He's got 3 times the amount we do. Omicrons, we do have the upper hand. It's kind of weird. He does have Starkiller, so that's good for him. But he doesn't have Qui-Gon. That's very, very good for us. He doesn't have Iden. He doesn't have First Order, and he doesn't have Dash. So I've made this comment previously that with the amount of Omicrons we have in game right now, I feel like 1 isn't just enough to like make or break a GAC. 3 might be doing pretty well. He of course has Rey. It would be possible for him not to. But yeah, so that's his roster for the most part. Really, there's not a lot of comments. Just everything is there, and he has everything to play with. That being said, he did start attacking last night, and I'm really hoping that he kind of fell into a trap. So he goes pretty efficiency. I guess I'll show his wall first. Like this, there's not a whole lot of, I mean, besides the relic levels themselves, there's not a lot that's really threatening on this wall. We're gonna take SLKR and Mon Mothma versus Rey, and the rest of this should be pretty easy. Like I'm pretty sure we can use Geos here. Not a whole lot to write home about. And then even his top wall, it's not too threatening either. Like standard Nute team, we'll probably be able to Iden this Mon Mothma. Standard Finn team, Bad Batch on defense, which is a little weird, but what he's doing, and I think it's just a question of not wanting to put a lot of time into 3v3. What he's done before is he typically takes a stupid amount of stuff on offense and just tries to clear the person as fast as he can and as easily as he can. Well, something happened here in the front wall that he had to 2-shot Qui-Gon Jinn, and I'm pretty sure you see on gas as well, just from the banners I saw at the time. But now he's gotten to the back wall, and he hasn't touched this since last night. He had to 3-shot JML. The first attempt was a total fail, or just maybe even a game crash. And then he failed on Han and Chewie, and I'm really thinking he might have just been like, I'm just not going to do this today. Like, this isn't going to be terribly convenient, so I'm just not going to do it. If he really wanted to, even if he is stuck as far as Galactic Legends go on the back wall, he definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, could get through this top wall here, and they could probably get our ships out. So at the most, we really should be aiming still for a full clear. Maybe not too much on the side of efficiency. But let's go ahead and get to him. All right, now here come the battles. So we're going to kick things off with a favorite of mine. I really love this counter. SLKR and Mon Mothma versus Rey. It's just so consistent, man. And it works against pretty much all the comps that I can think of. Especially with the teams getting thinned out more and more as the game goes on. And essentially it's needing less amount of teams, but more quality teams. Getting to put these two together is just, it feels really good. Because I don't need, like, Mon Mothma isn't a game-breaking team in 3v3. Like, she can go play with SLKR to kill Rey. And you also get the nice feeling of using an undersize, so that's pretty cool. So this goes as perfect as usual. We were able to have Mon Mothma for the first ult, so that SLKR takes the split damage and doesn't die. And from here, we're able to kill Haldo. That really wasn't super important, to be honest. And we do proc the ult only at 2 turns rather than 3, and that's fine. We need the damage immunity to avoid Rey just completely killing us. Shouldn't have swiped there. We should have gone for the poke, but it doesn't matter. Solid 64 either way. Going up against their BAM now, and man, Geos versus BAM in 3s. We've only done this, no, we've done this 3 times now. But 2 of the 3 times were against like these monster Kraken accounts where it was like, you know, an R8 bait and R8 bait, R8 BAM, R8 Queel, R8 IG, just the whole thing And really, that just what that ends up proving to me is that this is just a very, very solid counter. That it's going to work in pretty much any situation, because our soldier there is still gear 12, and the other two are R4, which is pretty good for them. But yeah, it's just really nice. And this Bam, he had a lot of offense, which was good, but he was also really well modded in defense, which I thought was going to be kind of an issue. As you can see, it was not. And then from here, it's just cleanup. All we have to do is take out the other two characters, which is really, really easy, to be honest. They have no damage. I mean, they'll occasionally get out of stun. Doesn't really matter, because we can either just cleanse it, or again, it just doesn't matter. It's not the prime character. They get their taunt out. Again, doesn't really matter. Get Queel all the way down. Now here is just IG88, and this was kind of dumb. I mean, like auto basic is fine for the most part, but you want to be using the protection recovery from GBA. But I don't think there was any way we could have actually stalled this out more, or even if we had the ability to stall this battle longer. I don't think we're ever just going to get full banners, just because of the way IG's unique works, that he constantly puts out dots for every debuff he clears, because we're going to be constantly losing health and protection, so that just wasn't good. So we get to taking this Padme team versus GG. I was just looking for kind of a... We had a lot of teams that could beat GG, but I was trying to look for kind of the cheapest one, what would have done well. And we still had Padme, we still had Ahsoka, we still had Wrecker. I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and do this. This should kill him pretty well. The big concern, obviously, is just, B2 over there constantly ripping off our buffs. But we have a pretty good way to dispel Magnin to get to him. But yeah, this battle is a little clinchy. I'm saving a lot of my big specials, especially relating to the protection up, because I don't want for B to just come in and clear it. And luckily, we kind of get things lined up here correctly, and we were able to... Actually, very, very close. Almost don't get B2 out. But luckily, we saved Wrecker's AoE. B2 went down at a perfect time where we had protection up, so Grievous didn't crit everyone into oblivion. Just get the protection up going more and more for ourselves. I mean, Padme's just a really good counter to Grievous, even with us being severely out-relicked here. Yeah, just dies. 54, take it. Now this team, this was cool. So he placed this Dengar, Dengar Zam Nest team, and this is just these teams can be kind of a pain in the butt, not because they're very good, and this one is kind of good, but just because of how unpredictable they are. Like, I've never seen this team ever before. I've gone against it myself, nor have seen anyone else go against it. And the crew team just really controls it well. Like, they keep throwing thermals on him. He really just doesn't care. Fox does have a pretty good element of stacking offense. It's really stacking health, but then that health is translated into offense. So he is eventually able to just work down Nest. There are some errors here with how we're playing the moves with Nest, because we do want to use Fox's turn meter reduction, not for the turn meter reduction, but for for him to stack his damage there. But at the same time, we use several times Fu's turn meter reduction, which is also probably not ideal. It might actually be ideal, just so we can have them both stunned, as you can see, at the same exact time, because Nest not being stunned actually is super annoying. She keeps countering, she keeps ripping stuff off. So yeah, actually maybe reducing her turn meter with Fu wasn't the worst thing in the world. But again, this is just really a matter of time. Dengar keeps stealthing, which is kind of annoying, but at the end of the day, Nest is just not going to hold up to what Fox is dealing out, and Fox is just gonna destroy her. So yeah, now that it's just Dengar, we're just gonna try to play banner recovery here. It's a little bit hard because once Nest is out, Fox's damage is already built up to a huge point. So trying to get his banners back, I mean, he's just gonna kill him too quickly. Next up is Generate Raymond, Kyle Katarn, and Jolie. Again, we've done this once before. This isn't like necessarily that Kyle Katarn is the best thing in the world. He is really good. I do like him a lot. Actually got to meet the developer that created him a couple days ago. That was actually really cool. But anyways, using this team against this, it's honestly really easy. There's enough damage here between just Generate Revan's general lead and Kyle Katarn stacking offense by being called to assists, that you eventually just get Vandor down. And that's really the tricky part of this team, is getting to Vandor without being able to kill the tank, because you can't kill the tank because she'll just keep coming back. I believe this is an Omicron dash. It might. I'm pretty sure it is. Even if it isn't, this works just fine. They do trigger Savior, which is fine. Even if that was actually a kill, Jolie would have just brought him back. But yeah, once Vandor is down, they really can't do much. And I believe at this point, or right next to this, I just clicked auto. There's nothing that L3 is going to do. There's so many buffs going around. There's protection up going around. We're not going to lose banners by clicking auto, and it's just easier for me. So, yeah, just L3 now. I guess probably could have called Jolene a little bit more to maybe get his protection back, but I don't know if that would have been enough. I didn't really want to play that game, though. But good job, Jedi Revan. Now, here is kind of an interesting test. So, we're up against this Mon Mothma team, and this is a decked-out Mon Mothma team, full R7, and we're taking in, as everyone kind of knows, our Gear 11 and Gear 12 Iden team. I actually just got done playing Battlefront 2, too, so I have a whole new respect for Iden as a character. Really liked her in that game. Anyways, yeah, this is kind of a test here because really what I'm more worried about is I'm worried about a timeout. So Kara, Nor, Hoth, Rebel, Scout there have enough damage to one-shot really any of these characters, or at least Death and Storm, because those two that matter. Don't have to just one-shot us right out the gate, because that's really what they have to do, because once the assists come in, we're pretty much back up to full health and full protection. And Iden's bonuses from her Omicron are just kind of bonkers. Not even... So the Omicron giving back turn meter and health and protection, like that within itself is really good, but she gives a lot of just like, not flat, but just straight out bonuses like, oh, 35% more health. Like that makes a huge difference when you're using these vastly undergeared characters, which is what we're doing. So you can see the enemy's getting a lot of turns. It doesn't matter. In fact, it's arguably helpful. And Iden does have the aspect of stacking offense. She does have the aspect of stacking offense in her kit, not just to herself, but to the entire team. So this is really just a matter of time. I imagine there's enough if there's enough bad RNG in a fight, that you probably just time out, because you can see we're gonna kill Kara here really quickly. And like I said, if the bad RNG's there, the turns line up so that Mon Mothma immediately revives her before you can kill Scout. And this wasn't even ideal. We got Death Mark on Scout immediately, and it didn't really matter because Mon Mothma immediately cleansed it. But luckily they didn't have the revive procced, and we're able to get Scout down pretty easily. And this is nice because Kara is significantly tankier than Scout is. So once she goes down, he should go down pretty easily. So we went ahead and used Wampa here, and this was a fun match. We honestly kind of had to do Wampa versus Nute, just because this is the last team that Wampa was going to be able to beat. A lot of the other teams had irresistible stuns, like Crew, or just had a lot of damage. Actually, I think he probably would have beat the Shaak team as well, but that's kind of besides the point. So, interestingly enough, I've heard this is true, and I've always followed it, and people have always steered me in the right direction, but you don't want to use the extortion with Wampa. And it kind of makes sense to me in the sense, or always made sense to me in the sense that extortion is not going to spread because there's only one character, so it doesn't really matter. But chat was kind enough to explain to me that it's not just that, it's you don't want to be constantly feeding Django damage, which does make a lot of sense. Like if he eventually just hits hard, or keeps hitting really, really hard, he might get through your protection up a lot quicker. So yeah, it's really counterintuitive to like every single other fight that I know of with Nute, but don't clear the extortion. Just play the battle as normal. You'll get your turns via TM, via countering, and that's really all she wrote. Good job, Wampa. You even got to do it on Hoth. Speaking of solo battles, well, kind of solo battles, we're going to take a Nest versus Maul. And we've done this against this comp, I only want to say maybe once or twice. And, I mean, this is just really good. Just killed Candace immediately. That was really, really cool. I mean, we countered him 3 times. We didn't have offense down yet. He was exposed. He didn't have the extra defense from the taunt. So we just hit him with the big hit and just died. So that was really, really nice because now the team isn't going to be gaining as much health and protection back because they need Mandalorians to counter outside of their turn and not counter, attack. Now that Candace isn't there to be called by Maul, it's going to be less health and protection for them. So I kind of play with my food a little bit here, and doing so, we learned this is kind of a bad idea. So you probably have noticed by now that we're going for Maul instead of Bo. Don't do this. That's definitely not the right play, because essentially what you're doing is you're splitting your damage. Because when you're countering, regardless of who's attacking, you're hitting who's taunting, which is Bo. And then if on our turn we're going after Maul, then we're splitting the damage between the two. Really, we need to focus down on one so that they die, and we can move on to the next. So, you still have to go for Bo. So this fight is a little bit tricky. We're taking JTR versus this First Order team. Fox here is really kind of what makes this possible. And that was not great. Yeah, so they, yeah, that sucked. We didn't land the ability block on Crew. which is really bad because he's pretty much going to be able to land the 2-turn stun immediately. And if JTR's unique doesn't kick in, it only has like a 40% chance to, she's not going to immediately clear it off. So this sucks. JTR gets stuck behind the taunt there. Luckily, we did enough damage already to Fox that it didn't really matter. Probably should have gone for a stun there, by the way. I don't know if that was the right move. Yeah, and now R2's looking like really close to dying. Luckily, we're able to stun their Xylo, and then on top of that, we're able to get Illuminated Destiny off, and that's pretty much game right there. We've got them both controlled, and we're trying to work down Kylo just because I don't want him to not accidentally, but very intentionally kill my characters. And we're kind of dumb here, so I again, chat had to point this out to me afterwards. But I start to put Foresight up on R2 so that way when he dodges, he gets health protection from BB-8's unique. That's not how the unique works at all. It's very close to how it works, but it's not quite there. All droid allies receive health and protection back when BB-8 dodges. He doesn't let... I had it confused, and I thought that whenever any droid dodges, that they would get health and protection back, but really it's BB-8 has to be the one dodging. So there's a little bit of a misplay there. And at some point in this battle, I think it's going to be very soon. Yeah, I think it's now. I just stopped going for the banner recovery. I'm like, I don't need 2 banners that much. We're just going to kill him. Because what we were doing for about a minute before this is we were avoiding putting the healing immunity on crew. At that point, you can't kill him, and you just have a really great opportunity to get banners back. But at a certain point, I was like, I don't want to do that today. I'll do that another day. So now we have to beat the Shaak Echo team. And we don't have a lot left in the tank. We left a lot on defense. So I'm just going through, looking through what we have, and I'm like, okay, so this looks very promising. The gear, I'm not a huge fan of our gear disadvantage, but we get in there. They focus down Mando because a Bossk lead, the protection provides a certain amount of defense in the very beginning. That actually makes it really easy to survive. We get contract immediately because they have no one to stop the taunting, so we can go right after contract, and there's just nothing they can do about it. I guess maybe at some point Shaak could have hit them, but whatever. And now that we've done that, we have to take out their... Take out their Fin Potion. This is also super easy. Even without Dark there, as long as you go first, there's nothing they can do about it. We get the fun Fear move. That was entertaining. It ends up being worthless because we had to hit both the characters that have Fear, but it was kind of cool to see it. I always like that part of Piet's kit. Like, a lot of his kit is broken. That part just seems kind of cool. So this right here, JTR... pain in the butt. We go ahead and take in our Bastila cam, and I'm thinking, looking back on this, I think we probably should have taken Old Ben. We saved Old Ben to go to Janet Luke for another team, but we get so close to killing her here. And then she just keeps getting Foresight back, and we don't get enough turns in a row to be able to rip the Foresight off. R2 goes ahead and changes everything on us. Ayla does get a pretty nice stun. But we need to kill one of them, and R2 just makes that really stinking hard here. Like we get in some good hits. You can see R2 is kind of next to half health there, but then again they switch the taunt up against us. They get Illuminated Destiny, and they just tear us apart. All right, so there are matches that we've lost before, and I get to the end and I'm like, oh, okay, like when we use First Order versus Starkiller and kept losing, like, okay, like I guess that's kind of expected. That's just not going to work right now. That is what it is. This fight genuinely, not this fight, but just this one and the next one just kind of ticked me off. Just because we get so close to killing either JTR or R2 or whoever, and then they either heal, they constantly keep getting Foresight up, they switch the taunt, it just annoys the crap out of me. So we forfeited that. We come with Gideon, and we're like, all right, let's see if we can get him down. And of course, you know, the dodge is on Dark's hit. Almost kills her. Almost kills. This is so wildly frustrating. And then she gets Foresight up again, and then of course, as soon as R2 gets his next turn, he's gonna switch the taunt. That's just hate this. I hated this battle. I wasn't there to see it, but I heard people had a lot of frustrating times with either the dodge meta or even Night Sisters just constantly reviving after you get him down. And I feel like that's how I felt. Right? Like this is just infuriating. Like I get her so close to killing her, she gets Foresight back up, and then as soon as we get through the Foresight and we're about to kill her again, R2 switches the taunt, and then the process just repeats until she kills us all. So super annoying here. And we try to see if Gideon can kill her. R1 Gideon doesn't kill her. My AoE won't kill her because she has Foresight now. We have to go back to basicing her with Dark just to clear the Foresight, which is a very painful thing to do. And now she has Foresight again, and we go ahead and clear it off. We at least heal or get Shore the attention back. She's got Foresight again that we have to clear off with Dark. Gideon's hit again. This is just so anger-inducing, this fight. Like, this fight just really messed with me. Finally, we do get a nice kill shot in on BB-8 from Dark, so props to you, Dark. You're the bomb.com. You saved my anxiety in this match. And then from there, they just don't have nearly as much control. Gideon lead / Zeta actually did something, so I guess I don't entirely regret putting that on. That's the first time it's done anything for us. We're able to take out Archie there, which is really great. She now has 2 stacks of armor shred. Keeps dodging Dark, but you know, whatever. Evasion tank, what are you gonna do? Dark eventually gets her, and my anxieties go away, pretty much. So now that team's down, we get to take Bad Batch in versus Geos, and there's really just not a whole lot that can go wrong here. And you'll see even, like, oh no, the one character in Cleanse didn't get the whatchamacallit, he didn't get the stun, but, you know, we're able to knock him down with exposes, knock him down with exposes again, and I'm pretty sure we increased his cooldowns as well on that last Bad Batch special. We will go ahead and get potency up to Hunter, just to go ahead and make sure that he's constantly landing his exposes. And yeah, they can't really do much about it. We get spy outs, they have an extreme lack of damage, and the true damage just kills them. So good job, Bad Batch, you are the best. So now this was pretty dumb. We're gonna go ahead and take in Palp, Thrawn, Mar versus this team, and this was just, I get where I was coming from in my head before this, but this was pretty dumb. So we take in a team that constantly doesn't let you debuff them when you assist. The Palpatine team desperately needs to debuff and is constantly calling Palp to assist for Mars assist. So this was, or for Mars turn. So this was pretty dumb. This was not the best idea. And yeah, so it seems kind of like we're in control here for a second, but in reality, we're just not. Yeah, there's just no way around giving them protection up. And then when we do give them protection up, we can't land our debuffs. When we can't land our debuffs, things just go really haywire. So, and you guys are kind of seeing that right now. Like, even, yeah, tenacity down, doesn't matter. And then the double cleanse also isn't great because we can't just stun lock them. So, I mean, I'm trying to make the best of a bad situation here, but it's, as you guys can see, it's not going super hot. We do try to keep Mara and Thrawn alive because I have a small hunch that maybe if the enemy kills Palpatine and he stops assisting, then maybe we can start getting somewhere. And it's kind of sort of looking like that. We don't have the assist coming in, but we still have Palp's lead and function because that's how leaderships work. Thrawn takes quite a bit. We have a pretty good shot at getting through Anakin here. We just keep throwing everything onto him, trying to get him down. Padme doesn't have her heal ready. We are able to snipe out Anakin. So even if we do lose the battle, at least he's dead. But this, again, this does just become complicated. One of the nice things is Mara does have kind of stacking protection built into her kit, and that's really nice because Thrawn can keep giving it back to her, and then courage just means it just does so much less than it would otherwise. Unfortunately, we just don't land the stun even when she didn't have protection up. She flops over all of her debuffs, which really suck. I think we could have cleared them there, but I'm not sure how much that would have actually mattered. I just don't know if this team had the right tools and the right drive to be able to kill them. It just wasn't like, if I could go back and redo this battle, I actually would have taken out Mara. Like, it would have been something like Palp, Vader, Thrawn. I think could have probably done it pretty well because Vader does a pretty good job at constantly ability blocking everyone, and then as long as he gets around to his eventual big hit, which he will, he'll be fine. And then to clean up, like, this cleanup wasn't even a good idea. Like, we still had Traya. Traya would have eaten this team alive, even at Gear 12, because you just isolate Padme, and then they have no damage for the rest of the battle. So cleanup wasn't even really all that well thought out. I just saw that we had this team. We had like Vader, Dooku, Tau, and I was like, oh, this would be really cool. They all have basics or they all have basics with ability block. That's kind of fun. We just did it, and you know, without spoiling it, everything went fine. But yeah, her counter was a little bit annoying, so we stunned her. Big old damage from Talon there, and call it good. So now we're going up against the highest relic variation of the Executor we've ever seen. We've gone against a full R8 and 1 R9. Now we're going up against a full R8 and 2 R9s. They've got both Piet and Bossk at R9. Our burner goes perfectly, and we bring in Rebels. And once again, they put the whatchamacallit on the wrong character. They don't do enough damage to our Millennium Falcon, which is what we wanted. We had 2 chances to get the Millennium Falcon to go in there, actually 3 now, and we didn't get any of them. So we're not getting very good assists to start off. We do get the kill out, and I think made a pretty big mistake here. I actually made a really big mistake. We went after Razor Crest. We started shooting at Razor Crest instead of IG. And this just it's not very good because Razor Crest is a lot harder to take down. And again, the name of this battle is controlling it. And by going after a character that was just going to survive longer by nature, we're just going to hose us. So we do go for the Shield Disruptor. I wasn't really too certain where the Executor's cooldowns were, but we do get, I think we do just go for it. We peel that off. The Millennium Falcon does get an A assist there, so that was really nice. Not enough to take him down entirely. And again, mistake. We keep going back to Razor Crest. We cannot be doing that. I finally get my head on my shoulders, and we stop doing that. Unfortunately, though, the first call to assist, we don't get it. Things are still going okay-ish. We're still taking out the reinforcements about as quick as they can do them. We didn't go for the AoE there just because it wouldn't have done any damage to Houndstooth, but and this is the real big issue. They get contract, and once they get contract, Houndstooth permataunts, and you can't get around to kill the sides. It's pretty much over from here. So they do get their ult, and for the really, again, I could have played this a little bit better. We could have gone after their... We should have been going after their IG from the very beginning. If we could have killed him, they would have gotten less breach out, and or target lock, and they would have gotten to their ultimate slower. But we killed 2. But unfortunately, for those of you who know anything about my fleets, that's game. That does not. That completely pretty much ruins our fleet plan. So now we have to go in against their Malevolence, and we have to mirror it. And actually, this had to happen no matter what. But basically, what we're doing now is we're just going for banners. We're not going to be able to full clear them. I pretty much knew that the second that our rebels failed there, and this is fine. Honestly, the Malevolence Mirror is very hard to lose, even regardless of turn order, just because the enemy does a very, very bad job of avoiding to kill the Vulture droids. It goes right after the Vulture droids. On our side, we get TM. We get to our ult sooner, and then therefore we pretty much just win. And that's really all she wrote. Whereas we go for Hyena directly, and we try to get him out, because he's really the one who makes or breaks the squad. They also brought out Outrider. That was super confusing. No idea why that character is in there. Did not need to be in there. That was dumb. We go around and we start fishing to look to see which one is the summon and which one is not. We find which one isn't. We nuke him. And then we kill Outrider. I have no idea why he was there in the first place. So 69, nice, pretty cool. And then our typical First Order versus Raddus. This is, again, I don't like this lineup. I don't really think any of them are superbly good. But this lineup without the bomber there and without resistance pilot and reinforcements really seems kind of bad, because you get to go right for the Millennium Falcon. You get to peel everything off of it. You get to try to get your big hits in on it. It's just really good, because he's the one who's going to ruin our day, the Millennium Falcon. And now he can't ruin our day because he's dead. So they bring in the tank, who of course is in stealth, which is great for us. They do dodge our big hit there, which is a bummer. I'm starting to think I should stop doing that AoE with the First Order pilot, because the target lock, I think, from calling Silencer to assist is probably a bigger deal, but at the same time, we get stuck behind another character this time anyway, so. And we do basic, and we don't get target lock anyway, so maybe I'm just overthinking that. But we do go after the bomber here. We just try to take them out. Don't want to have to keep dealing with them. Rip everything off of Poe. They bring in, I think that's Rex. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, because it came in with defense up. I'm pretty sure that's Rex, so he's not going to do anything. Sarge would have done a lot more, I'm pretty sure. But we're able to get... Poe out there, no idea why I used that ability. I think I was going for the AoE, and just so I could get some damage on the other characters. Didn't really have it quite there with us, but we were able to take out this fleet pretty well. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be too much of a headache. We've never lost with First Order, and again with the starting lineup in there, I just wasn't going to go too great. So they actually get their ult off, which is kind of funny. That I don't think we've ever had that happen once, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, Rex and Jedi Consular are not going to beat Silencer, so again, that's pretty much all she wrote. We got there 66, and we were able to take the win. I think this guy was going for more of a convenient win. He didn't attack after what I had showed you guys at the beginning of the battle. And once he saw that he wasn't really going to be able to full clear, I think he just dropped it. I don't even think like we scared him or anything like that. I think he pretty much just saw that it wasn't going to be an easy treat and just said no. So we got our win. We're currently 1-1 in this last week, and later today, well, it'll already pass for you guys, but later today we've got our third round against the guy that actually know I was in I was in a guild with him, or I was in an alliance with him for a minute. But all right, guys, hope you guys enjoy this one. Remember to like and subscribe, and as always, stay awesome.